What up, YouTube? I've got my buddy Ragu here today. Great day, pretty aggressive. The ranges, you had the opportunity to lose a whole bunch of money, but in the live room, we had almost 300 people. We did pretty good. We caught a few runs. We did the Iron Condor, got tested a little bit. So before I hand it over to Ragu, who will share his screen, I want to remind us of a few important things this week. Mainly, I don't want to short because I disagree. A lot of people have the tendency, I'm getting two things. I'm getting requests for where can I short, where can I buy puts? Is it time to buy puts? I was like, make sure to have a reason why you want to short, and don't do it because you just disagree with the rally. Go with the flow. And conversely, I have a lot of people looking to buy everything. I want to buy calls of this stock, and I look at it, and the stock has rallied 30% into prior. They bounced off of support and going into prior fails. So they're doing what the market makers love. They're getting out at the wrong time, trying to get in at the wrong time. So resist both temptations. And now I'm going to pass it over to Raghu, who will share his screen, which is already shared. And there we go.
Perfect.
Woo!
That's a colorful screen. So, good
Yes, it
afternoon,
is.
folks. Good afternoon, folks. This is Raghu I'm based out of Seattle. So, what I wanted to do is do a very quick rundown. So, what you see is a snapshot of where today landed. At the top, you see the four indices, the futures at the top. Currently, it is Globex, so you'll see a very narrow range. But what I want to focus more or is on these two, the ones right below. One is the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. Look at the last 7 days, continuous uptrend. It has been trending up all through. And there is a tendency now where people may think that, hey, is this the time for us to go bearish, go short? Don't make that mistake. Okay. The reason is look at where we are on the volume profile. We are exactly at the same place where we were just a couple of weeks ago. So we are going to test this level, and this is ES, and we are just going to test this level. And once we break through this level, we may start looking at going up to break out of the downtrend. And that is what is the interesting part. So don't short right now. There will be signals that we will get in a few days for a brief pullback. And that might be a good time for a scalp trade to pull back and then go long. But generally, for the next couple of months, I think we are looking at an uptrend. Okay. So let's see where we are on futures right now. I'm going to show so this has two charts. One is on the top. It shows me when there will be a reversal and when we can actually go long. Right now, it's a sideways trend that is typically in the Globex. We just got a small signal for a bullish reversal, but I wouldn't really trust that much. The top chart is on a 5 minute. And if there is a reversal, I will only hit a trade when my bottom chart shows there is a buy signal. Right now, there is a sell signal. So I'm not really keen about trading in Globex right now as far as ES is concerned. Let's look at NQ where we are on the Globex. Again, NQ is pretty much very similar to ES. Not much going on in the Globex session. Uh, Again, we got a slight reversal on the bullish side, but I don't think that is going to be of much to trade about right now. I would wait right now for clear indications before trading on the Globex session. Um, Gold has been something which has been performing really well. So let's look at gold. Gold, if you notice, it's pulled back a bit from the last 5 days, but now I think it has hit a reversal. It is now on the uptrend. We can see a little bit of a bullish retesting of the 2000s again in the next couple of weeks. This is a very bullish time for gold, primarily because of a couple of reasons. What happens is globally, there is a gold demand increases during this time. between now and January, primarily to coincide with both the Chinese New Year as well as the Indian New Year, which is Diwali, that happens right now. So typically, gold demand goes up. So this is a good time for any bullish trades on gold. We could see 2000 and probably the yearly high on gold later this year. Crude oil. I'm not that keen about crude in going long right now, primarily because of all the geopolitical concerns that are there. Anytime anything can happen. There is a slight reversal we just saw earlier today in the Globex session. That's a good scalp trade if anyone wants to really seriously look at it. So for the reversal, this is what I do. I look for a reversal on my charts to see on a 5 minute. And once that hits, I look for a signal on my chart at the bottom. You could go. I am not trading crude right now. But for those of you who are looking for a reversal on crude for a short term, probably an overnight trade, this is a good time where you can go to it.
Let me interject here and let me share my screen real quick about crude. So this is CL, and you can see that it is falling into the prior neckline from which it broke out. One can argue that it broke out from 75 and a half. And as it approaches 75 and a half, I think it has a bounce in it. So you could get from 75 and a half to 81, 82 maybe on CL. This is a daily chart, nothing fancy. And if you get there, I would be looking to get out. So if you're long crude, make sure to have stops appropriately. So you might get a bounce, but it will be to exit, in my opinion, unless there's something really bad that cuts the supply drastically or increases demand, which I can't imagine either of those two will happen. Then it breaks out from 94. But I'm looking for stabilization and a bounce, and the bounce will hit a seller zone, I think. So sorry to take it over from you, but
Hey, not a problem. What I wanted to also cover, so this is, I will put a different chart because that way we are not really going to be trading now for the Globex session. But crude, as you notice, see this, we have broken the downtrend and we may actually come back to test. Let me see. See this line right here, which is 72.50. We
yeah.
could come back to test that one. So since we've gone through this with a very big volume, in fact, okay, and there is still a downtrend, I would say crude is still bearish as far as I look at it. Okay, let's take a look at, I think we have another 5 minutes. I want to take a look at a few tickers that are really popping up. First on the list is Microsoft. It's been one of my favorite tickers. You've seen most of my trades that I posted. Microsoft today had an all-time closing high. Okay. And look at the pattern that it is actually setting it up. It is one of the most bullish patterns. This is a daily. Every day it has gapped up. And it has set up a beautiful cup. We could see a pullback for a handle to form. And that is the time to get in. I would look for any short pullback. And in fact, I think when you look at the volume, whenever there is a slight pullback on Microsoft, the institutions are jumping in. So I would look for any pullback to the mid 345 to 350. I doubt if it is going to test anything below 350. There is a very big position at 350 that will be a support. So if it gets to 350, I am going to be buying more because I look for Microsoft to probably head to the 390s. Why I say that? It's because look at this, guys. This is like, there is nothing above. So the first resistance is going to come somewhere in the 375 range, and my target is somewhere in the 406 range. Okay. These are based on Fibonacci levels, but that is where I look at. Microsoft has been very strong. See the squeeze is formed, it is turned yellow. And once this squeeze fires on the weekly, this is going to blast through like nothing. Okay. I'm pretty bullish on Microsoft. The other one that I would look for is Google. It's more of a bellwether for, it used to be a bellwether for the NASDAQ to a certain extent. Google is interesting because it has actually formed a cup and handle. Okay. So what needs to happen now is we have seen this handle form. It needs to break above 135. And once it breaks above 135, that is where you really can, you want to wait until it breaks 135 and then see, and then that will take us to the next level. Okay. The last one that I want to cover is Apple. Apple, there was a lot due to the earnings that we had. Apple is in a beautiful W pattern. So I will let Cypher cover the harmonic patterns. I'm not an expert in it. Cypher is, I'm going to learn a little bit from Cypher. But if you look at this pattern and you see the small arrow, that is my bullish signal. And look at the bottom. Apple is also setting up for a nice break to the upside. And typically, Q4 is one of the pivotal moment for Apple, where Apple actually tries to go back to all-time highs, primarily based on their Q4 sales figures that gets released. So this is a good time to enter into Apple on any kind of a pullback. So let's see, is there any questions that we have?
While they're thinking about that, let's see, let's put our faces up again. So I want to remind everybody that everything we say here, nothing is like going to the moon. We're not trying to trade for you. We're expressing our opinions as to what we think the charts are going to do. So yes, everything looks bullish on the charts, but we still have the same problems we've had for the last 3 months, maybe arguably a whole year. So we're not out of the woods on anything. Okay, so trade your own books. Make sure you're well balanced. Make sure you're not all in. Make sure you have dry powder. Make sure you have protection wherever you need protection, and don't do anything extreme. Don't short out of spite, and don't go long because you feel like you're missing out on something. Sometimes we miss out. Just wait for the other entry; it will come. Now, I also want to remind people that don't take off your hedges because you feel better. If you need a hedge, keep it. And the hedges can be stock specific, could be ticker specific, could be overall. So I'm seeing some comments in here like, what do you think about going into the week? We cover that on a daily basis. If you're a member, you know the answer. If not, you can ask me tomorrow in the live room. I'm yours 9 hours. If you're not a member, what the hell are you doing not a member? Go sign up, simplestocks.net. You can sign up and you can become a member and be in the live room. 300 people every day. We can't be BSing our way through it. You can't keep the attention of 300 people if there was no good content. Tesla and team, Neda, I'll catch you tomorrow when the market is open. We can do both of these. We have some updates on the earnings reports tomorrow. You're welcome, guys. We appreciate you giving us the time after a full day, 8-9 hours a day, and here we are. So what do I think about Alb? Natasha, we will answer that tomorrow in the live room. We don't have time to tackle Alb right now. I think it had a bad time going from memory, but do the fundamental work, find out fundamentally if it's sustainable, and then figure out a place where it has support to get in. If I'm already in, I won't add. Mandeep, thank you. Mona, thank you. ZT, thank you. And we have to sign off in about 30 seconds. Do you have any last goodbyes there, Raghu?
Hey, thank you very much, folks. Actually, this was really interesting meeting up with all of you. Hope to see you all in the live room in the next couple of days. That's it, Nick.
That's it. We're gonna cut it short right here. So rude of us, but we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Oh, hit the like button if you haven't done that already. Don't hit it twice. You take it off and discuss it in the notes. If you have questions, we read the notes, the comments. They're open for you.